Hello, we're so glad that you have tuned into this stewardship video. We are blessed to be your pastors, and for nearly 2 decades, you have blessed us individually and as a community. We are so proud to belong to a loving, justice-seeking, mission-oriented, welcoming, inclusive community. Despite the pandemic, together we are moving forward with vision, hope, endurance, and love.
And yes, we have begun our stewardship campaign for 2021, and these 3 moments of sharing are thoughtful, and they are genuine, and they uplift the importance of this church community. We are asking people, if they're able, to have a 3% increase to their pledge. Not everyone can do that, so there may be some of us who can do a 6% increase as we help pay it forward for those who aren't able to. But whatever you give, large or small, every gift matters in this community. Some people wonder why we talk about money in the church. Money enables us to do God's work, to share God's love in the world. So we are unapologetic, asking for people to give their time, talent, and their treasure. Each year we say, never ever apologize for asking someone to give to a worthy cause. We believe with others that First Church is that worthy cause.
And as you will hear at the end of this video, we thank you for your generosity. And now together, we are moving forward in vision, hope, endurance, and love. We love you and we miss you.
Good morning. Michael, do you remember when we found the United Church of Christ?
I do. It was 20 years ago, and we had just adopted our daughter Victoria, who was 8 weeks old at the time. And our social worker had told us that we really needed to plug into our local community because our new family was going to need some support. We were both raised Catholic and considered ourselves Christians who did not have a church home. So we decided to go knocking on some churches' doors locally and see if we could find a place that we could worship.
It was a little bit like being Mary and Joseph looking for the perfect manger.
It was a difficult search for us because we were told by almost everybody that we met that we would be welcome to worship there, but probably would not fit in.
But then we walked into a United Church of Christ church, and we were greeted by Pastor Ralph Alberg. He met us at the door, and even from the moment we reached out and shook his hand, it was a level of extravagant welcome that we were unaccustomed to. Ralph told us that the United Church of Christ was committed to social causes and overcoming injustices and looking out for the stranger, and the extravagant welcome for gay and lesbian people and for people of color. And it was just a message that really resonated well with us. He also said, you know, the 3 of you are in covenant together, and when you come here, that covenant will be extended to this community as well. We joined that week.
We did. And our daughter is 20 years old now, having been fed spiritually by the UCC her entire life, going to Silver Lake, attending youth conferences, leadership skills, strengthening her faith. And through that, Bob and I have also strengthened our faith on mission trips and members of committees and music and fellowship and prayer.
Last year, we moved to Glastonbury, and we've enjoyed a similar experience with First Church as we've gotten to get to know each of you. The extravagant welcome of new friends and your pastors, despite the challenges of the pandemic. You know, Michael and I make a financial contribution to First Church every month, and we do that because not even our money is separate from the new life that we share with each of you. We do that as a recurring donation to the church so that we're not apt to forget making that contribution any more than paying our rent bill or our car payment. But we also do it because it makes our hearts sing. It makes our hearts sing to see all the different ways that First Church is transforming lives.
We give to support the ministries of the church that care for our neighbors and clothe and feed the people who are in need.
We love watching the children here in this church receive a faith foundation that will help carry them through life's journey. We love the transforming voice of the progressive and countercultural church overcoming injustice, intolerance, and hate. And we know that there's somebody else out there, somebody else maybe in this community that needs to receive the extravagant welcome of First Church.
We thank you for welcoming us here, and may mercy, peace, and love be yours in abundance.
Good morning, everyone. For those that don't know me, I'm Allison Grissom. And for this week's moment of sharing, the Grissom family wanted to share with you what we love about First Church. Even when we can't be together in person to share our faith, supporting the church, our community, and our mission continues to be important, and maybe more important. The church is an extension of our family, and it connects us to each of you, where we see so much of Jesus' love and God's work. We surveyed our household to capture each family's perspective on our church's theme, moving forward with vision, hope, endurance, and love. Here are a few of the answers we received.
Love is smooching somebody or hugging somebody or helping somebody.
Caring for one another and helping one another.
Love is caring for something and really just wanting that thing to be with you. Faith is nice. That's what I said.
Faith is not necessarily knowing the outcome or the answer, but believing that you're moving in the right direction.
Hope is sort of like believing in yourself.
Hope is always believing that there is potential and opportunity out there in the future.
That every time you come there, everybody always has a big smile. Brownies.
I love all the people there, and then I also love the way that we go there, that we did go there every Sunday to be with one another and learn about Jesus.
I miss all the people we used to see when we went there.
Basically everything about it, but if I had to say something, it'd be the part of church where we go in and we sit right before the what do you call it? Like the
Children's message?
yeah.
Say hi to everybody I remember.
I just want to be there again.
Sit down in a pew and shake somebody's hand. Open up that book and sing so loud. Smile with my eyes.
Our church community is truly amazing and remains connected, whether we're in person, socially distanced with masks on, or over Zoom. We hope to see everyone soon. We love you, First Church.
Good morning. When David asked me to present a moment of sharing for the Stewardship Committee, I told him I was going to speak on the top 100 reasons why we should support First Church. David kind of frowned and reminded me about the importance of brevity. And so I have cut it down to my top 7 reasons why we should support First Church. So, reason number 7. Youth programs. We have wonderful youth programs at First Church. Our 3 children were baptized and confirmed at First Church, and the youth programs were a wonderful experience for them and for our entire family. Reason number 6. Music programs. Don't we have wonderful music programs at First Church? Thanks to Angela and her guidance, and this service is a shining example. Our music programs fill our services with joy. And I can't tell you how many times there's a music presentation and Valerie and I turn to ourselves in the pews and we just say, wow, really tremendous benefit to our church and such a gift to our church to have these music programs. Reason number 5, care for others. Part of our mission at First Church is outreach, and I'm very proud that First Church supports our community, our state, our country, and the world with its works, doing God's work on earth. We are a church of action, and if you want to see God's work, look no further than the programs and activities of First Church. Reason number 4, hope. We are a beacon of hope. Hope for equality, hope for understanding, hope for peace, hope for justice, hope for courage to do the right thing in every situation, every day. Reason number 3, vision. We are blessed with leaders with tremendous vision, showing us the way to do God's work. The purpose and vision of First Church is clear and unmistakable. If you want to look and see the evidence of God's work, look no further than the programs and activities of First Church. Reason number 2, our church is a rock. When I was in 7th grade, one of my best friends, Jimmy Gladwin, and I decided to sneak on to some private property where there was a large lake. They were doing excavation on the property. No one was permitted to enter, but we snuck on anyway. And when we got there, there was no one around. And so we decided to swim across the lake. And we set out, and Jimmy was a stronger swimmer than me, and he got ahead of me. And I got out to about the middle, and I got terrible cramps in both of my legs, and I couldn't move. And I called to Jimmy, and he was too far ahead of me. He couldn't hear me. And so I started to pray, and I said, God, I don't think I'm going to make it across. I said, I need your help. Please help me. And at that moment, my foot hit something, and I thought, oh my goodness, I've got cramps in both legs, and now there's a snapping turtle. And my foot hit it again, and it didn't move. And I reached back, and there was, in the middle of this lake, a rock formation that came up just a couple of feet below the surface. And I stood up in the middle of that lake, and I rested. And my cramps went away, and I swam the rest of the way. I could have died that day, but instead, I stood on God's shoulders. And God is a rock, and this house of God is a rock. In all of the uncertainty that's swirling around our community and our entire country and the world, First Church stands steadfast, doing God's work every day. And the number one reason why we all should support First Church is for the love of God. First Church does God's work every day. First Church stands for justice, for love, for compassion, for equality, for courage, for faithfulness to the teachings of God. And it is through your support and the grace of God that First Church is able to do the work of God every day. So these are just my 7 reasons. There are many other reasons. For whatever reason you support First Church, may God bless you. And all God's people say, Amen.